We are waiting for where and when the hostages will be released from Gaza. 50 hostages being held by Hamas expected to be freed in the next 24 hours. We're hearing reports of sometime around 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. The group is mostly women and children and includes 3 Americans. Israel's cabinet approved a deal for their release in exchange for a 4-day pause in the fighting. It would be the first major de-escalation in the fighting since the conflict began. Joining us once again, Alex Traiman, CEO and Jerusalem bureau chief for the Jewish News Syndicate. Alex, welcome back. When will we know who's on this list for their release tomorrow?
Well, the Israeli government supposedly already has 10 of the first of the hostages that are to be released. They have their names already. There are conflicting reports about who they might be. We've also heard reports so far unconfirmed that Hamas now saying perhaps that some of the bodies that will be returned are not necessarily alive. So there's still, until it happens, we don't know exactly what is going to take place tomorrow at 10 a.m.
Do we know if specific people were part of the negotiation or if it was solely Hamas who is calling the shots?
It seems as though it's Hamas that is the one deciding or determining who they have access to, that they are able to return. By contrast, the IDF, Israel, has already identified the 150 prisoners that it is promising to release as part of the hostage exchange. Remember, it's not just 50 hostages for a freeze in the fighting. Israel is going to be releasing as many as 150 prisoners, Palestinian prisoners that are in Israeli prisons for committing acts of terrorism against the Israeli population.
But there were some parameters around these 150, right? It is also mostly women and children. What were they being held for, vaguely?
Well, it's women and minors,
Okay.
and it says minors, even in this case, extended to under 19. So you have a lot of teenagers, 16, 17, 18-year-olds that were, let's say, either throwing rocks, might have attempted stabbings, might have been coming towards Israeli soldiers or community with the intent to kill, but weren't able to carry out the act. The only limitation is that those that did physically murder are not going to be included, but those that were convicted even of attempted murder may be released as part of the deal.
And do we have any sense as to where this exchange will take place, where the hostages being held in Gaza will be transferred?
It's believed that they will be transferred first to the Red Cross, and then the Red Cross will take them presumably to one of the borders between Gaza and Israel.
So part of this agreement, Alex, is this truce, this 4-day ceasefire. Was there a unanimous agreement within the cabinet for this? What was the discussion that led to this?
There's certainly a majority in favor of it, but it was definitely not a unanimous decision. There is a prevailing view that Israel had succeeded in pummeling Hamas and really had them up against the wall, and that they desperately needed a ceasefire to regroup and to rearm, and that by agreeing to the pause, that they're actually putting their own soldiers in harm's way. And then also Israel has some very bad experiences with these hostage exchanges. And certainly when you look at the list of the people that Israel is going to release, it was only in 2011, Israel transferred 1,000 Palestinian prisoners over for one soldier, and one of those 1,000 was Yahya Sinwar, who's the head of the military operations in the Gaza Strip right now. So definitely some concern that we might be getting 50 hostages back if Hamas keeps to its end of the bargain, but you may be putting Israeli lives at risk on the backside because of the deal.
Yeah, which is why some were concerned about this to begin with, and also that it gives Hamas an opportunity to rearm and reestablish their fight. The pause may also be extended. Talk about the parameters of that and what that looks like.
Right. So the deal is for 50 hostages over 4 days, 12 and 13 a day until the 4 days are reached. But if Hamas is able to bring additional hostages forward and transfer them over to Israel, Israel has agreed that they would commit to an additional day of pause for each 10 hostages that were offered, but only to a final limit of 10 days. So they're only committing to a truce of 10 days at this point if Hamas can continue to bring back additional hostages.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.